TMZ may have accidentally helped Mike Vrabel and the Patriots with their latest Dianna Russini post. Stefon Diggs might now be the best wide receiver option, specifically for the Colts. The Seahawks do not need a dome, and people seem to be pushing that idea. Yeah, they need to relax. And Mila Adams apparently still has plenty to say about Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, which is pretty funny considering what we just learned in court. This is the full episode, every story in one place, built for your phone. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic, and this is the Seattle Mike Show. There's finally a good spin to put on the Mike Vrabel situation, benefiting the Patriots, thanks to a complete nothing burger TMZ post. On Monday, TMZ posted a new article with a photo of Dianna Russini speaking close to Mike Vrabel's ear at a Super Bowl event in 2022. And my honest reaction is, who cares? We already knew Vrabel and Russini had a close relationship dating back to at least 2020. We already knew Vrabel and a very pregnant Russini were on a boat ride together within a month of the blockbuster Julio Jones trade, where the Titans ended up landing Julio for less than Russini had originally reported he was going to go for. That caused yours truly to speculate that maybe she helped drive the market down to benefit Vrabel and the Titans. But this new 2022 Super Bowl photo, there's really only one timeline piece you can even try to pull from it. A few months after that event, Russini was the one who broke the news that the Titans were trading A.J. Brown to the Eagles. But even I'll admit, that's highly speculative. February to late April is not close enough to draw a real connection without more information coming out. And that's why this latest TMZ post might actually benefit the Patriots. Because when TMZ starts posting contextless photos that don't really add anything to the story, it gives the Patriots exactly what every team loves. Oh, they're scared of us. They're taking cheap shots at us. They're all counting us out. Everybody wants to make this about the drama because they're scared of us. And look, that pisses me off as a Seahawks fan because that's our thing. You guys forget about us, count us out, ignore us completely, and then it takes us winning big games for people to remember that we even exist. Then 2 weeks later, you forget about us again. But honestly, that's to our advantage. Keep us out of the spotlight until we're playing in the biggest games. But with these petty TMZ posts that add absolutely nothing to the actual story, you're justifying every Patriots player and fan who says the media is only focused on this because it hurts New England. And that's how a real story turns into bulletin board material. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying, unless your new report adds something to the story, stop giving the Patriots free fuel. Stefon Diggs to the Colts is a real possibility. Now that Stefon Diggs has been found not guilty, he becomes a real option for teams looking for veteran help at wide receiver. A return to the Patriots could make some level of sense, but they already cut him once this offseason with 2 years left on his deal. And if New England is seriously pursuing A.J. Brown after June 1st, Diggs isn't going to be a priority for the Patriots. The Colts, on the other hand, make a lot of sense. Indianapolis moved on from Michael Pittman Jr. after giving Alec Pierce a massive extension. So right now, Daniel Jones is throwing to Alec Pierce and Josh Downs. That's not a bad receiver room, but it also doesn't force defenses to change how they play the Colts. And that matters because this offense still runs through Jonathan Taylor. If defenses don't respect the passing game, they can focus on Taylor and make Daniel Jones prove he can beat them. Adding Stefon Diggs changes that. With Diggs, Pierce, and Downs, the Colts would have a much more complete receiver room. It gives Daniel Jones a proven veteran target, keeps defenses more honest, and creates more room for Jonathan Taylor in the running game. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying the Colts should take a serious look at the best free agent receiver on the market. Seth Wickersham reports that the next owner of the Seahawks is going to want a new stadium. What a load of crap. First of all, Lumen Field is still one of the premier stadiums in the NFL. It's known for its engineering that pushes crowd noise right back onto the field. It's right next to T-Mobile Park, which is in a great part of the city for sports. There's nothing about Lumen Field that screams, this place needs to be replaced. And the logic behind the argument makes no sense. Wickersham's argument is basically that a new stadium could create additional revenue streams. Okay, but Lumen Field already creates major revenue streams outside of Seahawks games. Taylor Swift played 2 nights at Lumen Field with more than 144,000 fans total. Then a month later, Ed Sheeran actually broke the single night attendance record with more than 77,000 fans. This isn't some outdated dump that can only host 10 football games a year. Lumen Field can already host massive concerts. It already hosts Sounders games as well. The idea that the Seahawks need to blow up one of the best stadium environments in football just to chase extra event revenue feels like a solution in search of a problem and not the other way around. Wickersham also said the Seahawks would likely want a dome so they could host more events outside of football, but again, why? T-Mobile Park is literally next door and has a retractable roof. In the winter, they already host events like their Winter Wonderland, set up with the roof closed. And when T-Mobile Park is not available, the Seattle area already has other event options. White River Amphitheater isn't too far away, Tacoma Dome, Emerald Queen Casino for smaller events like comedy shows and concerts. I just don't buy the idea that putting a roof over Lumen Field suddenly unlocks some massive revenue stream Seattle doesn't already have access to. On top of that, the core of Wickersham's comparison is flawed. He referenced the Commanders and Broncos as recent examples of new owners pursuing new stadiums, but those are completely different situations. The Commanders play at FedEx Field, which has become one of the most mocked stadiums in the NFL. We're talking about a stadium where pipes burst and dumped water onto fans, where the game day experience was constantly criticized, and where fans actually sued the team after a railing collapsed and people fell near Jalen Hurts after a game. Lumen Field doesn't have those problems. Denver's different too. The Broncos Stadium conversation is tied to their lease timeline and a potential larger development around a new stadium site. That's not the same thing as buying the Seahawks and deciding Lumen Field suddenly needs to be replaced. That's why the Panthers are probably the better comparison. David Tepper bought the Panthers in 2018. Bank of America Stadium was already more than 20 years old at that point in time. He didn't immediately build a new stadium. They're renovating the current one, and honestly, that feels a lot more realistic for Seattle. Could a new owner eventually look at upgrades, renovations, premium seating, maybe surrounding development? Sure, that could make sense, but a full new stadium, a dome nonetheless, replacing Lumen Field like it's some outdated problem? No, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying Seth Wickersham has no idea what he's talking about. Mila Adams will not stop making a fool of herself. After getting embarrassed in court a week ago when Stefon Diggs' former chef was humiliated on the stand after her story describing a violent encounter with Diggs completely fell apart, Adams couldn't help herself but to take to social media about the latest rumors that Diggs and Cardi B are back together.
The way he treated you when you were pregnant, the way he talked to you when you were pregnant, the way that the same people that has defended him in this know how he treated you while you were pregnant and how he was to you when you were pregnant will always be something I will never understand. The same person that abused you abused me. And our text messages show how he belittled you, how he spoke to you. Once again, I apologize. And I hope one day you face the music.
And let me tell you why I find this hilarious, because I watched every second of the Stefon Diggs trial. On the stand last week, Mila Adams talked about having a close friendship with Cardi B while she was still banging Stefon Diggs behind Cardi's back.
She was a hoe. For show.
And then Mila has the audacity to go, what about how Stefon treated you while you were pregnant? How about how you treated Cardi while she was pregnant? You were banging her man. And look, I don't know what Mila Adams is referring to here. She's claiming abuse, but after what just happened in court, after her story fell apart on the stand, and after Stefon Diggs was found not guilty, her credibility, particularly when it comes to abuse, is worth nothing. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic, giving Mila Adams some advice. Stop talking. Thanks for watching this episode of the Seattle Mike Show. Please remember to like and subscribe to help the channel grow, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any crucial updates to any of the stories we went over today. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic, and I'll catch you guys next time.